Alright guys, for today's video, I just wanted to do a voiceover because I didn't know how the fishing was going to be, so I didn't really talk much. But I wanted to show you this unedited clip right here because we had started over on the point for about half an hour with no luck. But from the time I got over here, it took about 5 minutes before I ended up landing the first fish. And I just wanted to talk about what I was doing before I landed that fish. So first of all, I was throwing a red crankbait, which I always throw crankbaits here, but I never used to throw red until my friend Greg told me that red works good, especially this time of year and if the water's dirty and they can see it real good. But anyway, so I was throwing it off the bank, parallel to the bank at about a 45-degree angle, because there's a ledge that sits out there where the water drops off to like 6 or 7 feet. And I feel like they hang out on that ledge and ambush stuff because that's usually where I catch a lot of fish, is right off the bank. So yeah, I was throwing it back and forth to the left, to the right, at different angles, but always close to the bank. And I was burning that thing through there pretty fast because I was trying to cover water and just have as many chances to have that bait in front of their face as much as possible. And I was burning it pretty fast, and I was giving it little stops. And another thing I was doing was pulling it to the side and then reeling up the slack. But they say to fish crankbaits kind of slow in the wintertime, but here I don't really think it's an issue because I've checked the surface temp with my fish finder before, and I've never seen it get below like 55 degrees. And I have a thermometer that checks the bottom, and the bottom always sits at about 54 degrees in the middle of winter too. So it's not like the lake where it gets like really cold. Like here, I mean, 54 degrees, yeah, it's cool, but it's not freezing. So I don't think the fish are too, I think they're still moving around chasing stuff in that kind of temperature. Maybe not as fast and as aggressive, but I think they will chase stuff. So, yeah, I kind of just keep throwing it to the left, and then I'll switch back to the right, kind of changing up the angles, but he ends up coming at like a 60-degree angle off the bank. But if you'll notice later when I catch him, the cast was about done. I had brought the bait all the way back in almost when he actually hit it. So that tells me he was still sitting off that ledge in that ambush zone. So I think I make a couple more casts over here to the right. And then right when I go back to the left is when he actually hits it. Like a cast or two once I go back to the left. Yeah, and there's a lot of bushes in here, but I think they're just tumbleweeds that have blown in here that sometimes you get caught on, but it can also help the fish. They kind of hang around them. And one time I was using live shiners on a bobber, and this tumbleweed was actually moving around. And I was throwing the minnow right next to it, and as it moved around, I just kept getting bit because they would the fish would follow that tumbleweed around, and therefore they would bite my shiners when they seen them. Okay, so I make this cast, and then it's the cast right after this that I end up hooking into him on. So I cast it out there. It's pretty far of an angle off probably the farthest I've thrown it, but you'll still notice that he comes at the end of the cast. So he comes, I'm pulling it to the side and reeling up the slack. Then all of a sudden he hits it right there. No, it's a white bass. I got him on the red crank. Dude, bait casters are more fun. Yeah, see, dude, like last year there were tons of white bass, like in November, December, and then I didn't see one again. Yeah. Dude, I just love this spot because you can't go to the lake right now and catch one. Not very easily. I've never done it. Okay, so it's been a little while since that last fish, like probably a couple hours. So, and I tried a bunch of things, but no luck. So I finally decided to tie on a little, it's called a Strike King cutter worm. And it's basically like a little 3-inch swim bait. It's got a little tail and everything. And I'll just reel it in real slow. But it's, I was using that, and the color I was using was black on a 16th ounce jig head, but with a long shank.
Yeah, a couple
and
times.
For this, I was actually farther down here, so I was able to catch or cast like not even at an angle, just completely parallel to the bank. And I was trying to get it up close to that wall as possible, and then just bring it back. And I think this fish ends up biting right in front of that rock right there. There could be something like more of that rock under the water, or another one that attracts the fish. I don't know, but that's kind of where he bit it. So I thought I was kind of hung right here, and then all of a sudden he bites it here in a second. Yeah, right there I got him.
On the swim bait, he came back for it, but in a different spot. I think it's a largemouth. Yeah, dude, I love this spot. Like I said, this is my favorite spot in all of New Mexico. At least down here. Damn, dude, he's really not that big, but he's just really fat. He fought good. But yeah, he's probably only like 13, 14, maybe 13 inches. That's like nothing for out of here. His lips are red. Alright, guy. Let's get a release on you. Oh.
But alright, guys. Thanks for watching. I know I only caught 2 fish, but it's been tough for me here lately. Especially now with these real colder months. But heck, coming out here and catching 2 wasn't too bad. I'll catch you guys on the next one.